Should you use a heat gun to remove decals from your Toyota Tacoma? Well, good morning everybody, and welcome back to the channel. You know, I'm a big decal remover, and I was curious, should you really be using a heat gun to remove decals? You know, a lot of the videos out there, people will suggest that you use a heat gun, and if you don't have one, then use a hairdryer. And I would argue that you should never use a heat gun. But I've never used a heat gun to remove decals and stuff. So I mocked up this little example here. This is a piece of aluminum, and it is primed, painted, and clear coated to try to mimic the finish on the Tacoma over there. I put a RobMotive decal on here, and we're going to take the heat gun to it. We're going to see what happens. Can it damage your finish? I don't know. We're going to find out. So let's go ahead. Everything's all set up here. I'm going to hit it with the heat gun. We're going to see what it does. Hopefully it doesn't burst into flames. I don't know. All right, we heat it up just like we were going to, you know, remove it, because you'd have to heat it up to do that, right? And I'm going to do this in real time so you guys can see. I'm just leaving it on here. And this is particularly important, I think, for people who aren't familiar with heat guns and how hot they really get. I mean, this is just a cheapo from, I don't know, somewhere on the web. And you can already see the sticker itself is starting to boil. I'm not sure how well the camera's picking that up, but let's put a screwdriver on there real quick. Yeah, that sticker is like, it's not quite liquid, but it's pretty pliable on there so far. Let me zoom you in a little bit. Let's try it again. I'm gonna heat this up. I do see a little bit of damage in the paint. I don't know if the camera picks that up, but let's hit it again. Yeah, it's bubbling up the sticker pretty well. I'm not sure if you guys can see. And I would hope that if somebody was actually doing this for real, that if they saw that happening, they would stop. But you know, people go nuts when they're doing stuff. So let's just keep going here. You can see it actually bubbling up over there. Wow. Again, the sticker would be almost like liquid adhesive now. This is one of those vinyl stickers, similar to what would be on your Tacoma over there if you were trying to remove one of those. And you can bet there are people out there who would, wow, check that out, who would use the heat gun to the extreme, trying to remove these things, especially if they get frustrated. I mean, look at what this thing is doing. So far, the paint is holding up pretty well, I think. The sticker, of course, is not. Matter of fact, the sticker has shrunk a little bit from the edges here. Let's try to pull up an edge, see what happens. Wow. Look. Yeah, the sticker is almost like, it's not liquefied, but man, it's not good. Not good. And then the paint underneath, let's see how that's holding up. So far, not bad. The paint actually is not coming off, but I wonder, let's go down here below the sticker and hit it with the heat gun pretty hard. See if anything happens to the paint. You got to think at some point the paint is going to start to melt. There it is right there. I don't know if you can see the change, but the paint itself, yeah, look at that. And I'm not putting a lot of pressure on it. The paint is almost liquefying there, if you will. But you can tell maybe in the hue of the light, like a bunch of micro bubbles under there. So, definitely can damage your paint. I think that's a given. No big surprise there. Let's, for kicks, let's really hit this. Let's really hit this decal and see. Let's go over here on the R, where we haven't hit it too much yet. There you can see it's actually, looked like it was boiling there. Check that out. I don't know if these actually get hot enough that this would like burst into flames or something. I can't imagine that would happen, but you know, I'm not really sure what would happen. There you go. Look at how damaged that is now. Check that out. Well, there you go. You can see how much damage you could really do if you used a heat gun on paint. I would not recommend it. I would certainly go with a hairdryer. They don't get that hot. I've never heard of anybody catching their hair on fire using a regular hairdryer. There is one more thing I want to try though. Again, in the mode of plastics, I have a just a tea bottle here. And I'm curious, how long will it take to actually do damage to this using a heat gun? So we're going to do it in real time. Set this down here on the table for you guys to see. And let me zoom you in a little bit. Okay, let's go ahead and hit this bottle. Again, I'm just really curious to see. I'm going to do it in real time. We're going to see what happens, again, by using a heat gun on materials that are all over your Tacoma, of course. So let's go ahead and hit it. Well, there goes the label. That didn't take long. And you can see the plastic is already deforming. That didn't take long. This is in real time. Now you can see, oh, we actually have a hole through the plastic now. You guys can see that forming, I hope, on camera. So that's about how long it takes to damage the plastics. We'll continue on because I just want to see what the end result here is, but you can see how long it would take to actually damage the plastics on your vehicle if you were using this thing to, I don't know, say take a decal off inside or something like that. I actually used the heat gun to deform or reform my wheel well a little bit when I had just a tad bit of rubbing on the truck. So I did use this heat gun for that, and I gotta say, well, there, we've completely knocked, it's very hot. We actually did knock or use it on the wheel well to go ahead and change the shape of that a little bit. And it didn't take long. You can see it's just plastic like this. Although this is a little bit thinner, I guess. But you can imagine how long it takes before you really do some serious damage to your plastic bits if you use a heat gun on them. So unless you know, you're doing something with the wheel well, like I mentioned, where you really are looking to deform or change the shape of the plastic, I would definitely not use a heat gun on your Tacoma, because you might end up with something like this. Okay, there you have it. Again, I just wanted to do a crazy little test with a heat gun because I was curious to find out, you know, how much damage can one of these things really do if you leave them on too long. And you guys could see it didn't damage the paint except for in this little spot, and I had to scrape it. It did bubble it up a little bit and change the texture of it. So the heat gun certainly can damage your paint if you leave it on too long. And I would say, why risk it? I mean, unless you're a seasoned pro and you really mastered using one of these on surfaces that can damage, I would never use one. Not on surfaces that you don't want to damage. Use a hairdryer. Do yourself a favor. Don't end up with something like that. Anyway, appreciate you guys watching. let me know, leave a comment. If you ever used one of these on your Tacoma and did something wrong, actually caused damage, I'd be curious to know. Also, real quick, if you haven't before and you're interested, check out my other channel. It is RobMotive JT, all about my 2020 Jeep Gladiator. Don't forget to click that notification bell so that you don't miss out on any upcoming videos. And do me a favor, smash that subscribe button on the way out. Thanks for watching. Stay safe out there. Bye.